There's no question about it. Someone needs to get him here watching these videos. Let's look him up. This is good to do when you're not on the sites. You cannot look at this while you're playing. But I mean, my goodness. He is so tight. Look how good he is. This guy's he's a machine. Where can you, is this in, I don't think it's in the, there you go. He is a machine. We should stop the video right now and have him make the videos. He's better than me. So obviously this guy's a baller. He's a player. Okay, we can, you know, on Sharks Cup here you can look at his results, see what he's done lately, see what he hasn't done. He's just a MTT machine. Although I don't really like the way he's playing so tight. You know, maybe I guess he just figures that I'm just going to call him with anything, and his hand was so bad. But, you know, he's just letting himself get so low. It doesn't seem like he's playing to win it, which obviously is not the case because this guy is a machine. But it's interesting. I wonder if what his kind of reasoning would be. Maybe he feels like he has such an edge over these other guys that he's just going to be a little patient. Doesn't feel like he needs to panic. But definitely would be shoving there if that was me. He shoves under the gun. We're going to fold to queen 7. Okay, so now he does shove under the gun. We know that he's probably got something, but obviously pocket jacks is just not a hand we're going to fold. I isolate, I make a little re-raise, and he's got jack 9. So he flops a pretty good flop for him. Unfortunately, the clubs aren't great, but you know that's about as good as he can ask for. And we get a walk, so now we're almost up to 400,000. And we have a raise, and he raises 12,000, so he's risking 12,000 to win, you know, 8,500. Well, we'd be risking, you know, less than 8,500 to win 8,500. I just can't stress the importance of how much more money I can pick up for less than the guy doing the 3x. You know, he has to risk so much to win a little bit. I risk so little to win a little bit, but it just adds up. And when it doesn't work, I lose so much less. I can just keep doing it over and over. Drinking buddy calls me. Checks the flop. Now, I didn't make my continuation bet here. Because if I had an ace, I probably would check. Because I would want him, maybe if he has like queen 10, to catch a 10 on the turn. I would like to bet if I did have an ace. I probably actually would bet. Because I would think he wouldn't put me on an ace. He just flat calls, so I'm not really putting him on an ace. I check the turn. The reason I check the turn is I do have the nut flush draw. Well, the king high flush draw. So I want to see the river. If I bet and he raises me and I have to lay it down, I couldn't sleep at night wondering if I would hit the flush. So I checked, and the river I missed. And he let out. At this point, I probably thought he doesn't have a flush, doesn't have an ace. You know, if he does have a straight, I can raise him. Maybe he'll lay it down if he has, you know, like some random pair, like a pair of 8s or 9s, something like that. And I made the raise so small that it looks like I must have something really good because I want, you know, there's no way he's going to fold most likely. So this raise is kind of representing a monster, but he can't fold this hand here, so it didn't raise me. He knows that if he shoves all in, he's not going to get called by a worse hand. So on his part, it was a good call because a lot of people, a lot of you morons watching would probably go all in if you had the queen high flush. But you're not going to get called by a smaller flush or by, three aces. You're only going to get called if the guy's got a full house. So before you make a play, you got to ask yourself, what hands are going to call me? Does my opponent have that hand? If I raise, am I only going to get called by hands that have me beat? And if that's the case, then you just have to call. Even though you might have a really strong hand, if there's nothing that your opponents can really call you with that you can beat, then you shouldn't be raising. So on his part, it was a good call. It was a smart play by him. And it's a little dent to my stack, but I'm still the man. I still got the chip lead. And obviously raisy-daisied up right here with this hand. And take it down. So you see, 8,500. If I steal the blinds twice in a row like that, I've just picked up 17,000 in two hands. That's like half of what this guy has. In two hands, I just, pick it up. So he shoves. It might look like a humongous shove to you, but remember, what are the blinds? The blinds now, are like, it's like 2,500, 5,000, a little more. So he's got a little over 10 big blinds. So it's a fine shove in his part. What am I going to call with? Is that what you said, Sarah? Yeah, okay. I would call with probably pair of eights, pair of sevens, and like ace queen suited, ace king. Maybe ace jack suited. Yeah, probably ace 10 suited. I think he's shoving. Let's look him up. Do we think he's any good? João Matias is a machine. He's the best player we've ever seen. And I knew his name was familiar. Devil's pretty good too. He doesn't play as much. He's got the little shark though, a little charky. Kind of give you Devil's. Yeah, you won second place in the $50 rebuy. Wow. He must have lost one. Oh, jeez. Look at that. I do think it's pretty cool that I was at the final table with Peter Pan. Childhood idol. So Devil knows what he's doing. Probably. Probably not, but we can say he did. Let's run some math numbers. This is the kind of stuff that I have to get better at, figuring out what these guys' ranges is. I got the queen 9.